If you're trying to produce better music, it can get frustrating because there's so many things to focus on. And most people on YouTube are giving you weak advice that they learned from just playing with FL Studio for 2 years in their bedrooms.
Come on, don't come in here.
But nothing, I tell you, nothing is going to impact the style of your track more than the sounds that you use. It's the difference between drawing a red leaf next to a green leaf and drawing a red leaf next to a red spaceship. Changing the type of sound will have a way bigger effect than changing the notes. So today I'm going to break down 5 reasons why you absolutely need to focus on the sound choice in your tracks. Let's go. Reason number 1, it's the most defining feature of electronic music. The roots of electronic music come from the fact that you can take sounds from so many different places and you can create sounds that people have never heard before. Listeners today have such a wide ear because they've been exposed to so many different kinds of modern music already. Subconsciously, I think they're judging more harshly about the sounds you're using compared to if you were just writing music on the piano. They might not know why they don't like a particular song, but I bet you the choice of sounds has something to do with it. Every time I'm in the comment section of one of my favorite electronic or dance music tracks on YouTube, I always see people commenting on how much they love the sound design. Comparing this to the comment section on one of my favorite hip hop or R&B tracks, the hype is usually about the lyrics and the vocal performance more so than the choice of sounds. But it doesn't really matter what genre you're making, because if you're using software like synthesizers and samplers, in a way I would still call that electronic music. If you told someone I'm going out tonight to listen to a band or an orchestra, they're already going to have in mind the kind of instruments that's going to involve. But if you tell someone you're listening to electronic music, it's such a wide palette of sounds, they have no idea what it could sound like. And that's one of the reasons electronic music sounds exciting to me. You never know what you're going to get. Reason number 2 is it helps you to be unique. There's only 12 notes on that keyboard, but there are thousands of types of sounds. In 2022, it's probably impossible for you to come up with a chord progression no one's ever heard before, or a melody that doesn't sound a little bit similar to something in the past. Everyone is using the exact same software, or maybe even the exact same hardware, but not everyone is using the exact same sounds. So just like your fashion and your clothes, this is your chance to express your personality. Just like the clothes you put on your body, every sound you put in your track is going to tell people a little bit about who you are. So don't dress like a bum. All of my favorite producers like Skrillex, Timbaland and Labyrinth all have a sound that is very unique to them. And a big part of that comes from the sounds that they choose to use in their own tracks. So although it's always a good thing to learn from your favorite producers, start thinking about what you like and incorporating it into your music. Since I'm a fan of anime, for my track Sirens, I wanted to bring the sound of Japan to the streets of London. I found this sample of a Japanese flute called the shakuhachi. And I just flipped it. And since I'm Jamaican, I even went one step further and put a sample of Bob Marley talking in an interview.
You see, where I feel about the music, it can be copied, you know, but it's the feel, you know, you can't feel.
So you're going to make some of your best music when you're just choosing sounds that are natural to who you are. Okay, so reason number 3, and this is a big one, is that it greatly affects the mood of your song. Now, this is actually true in every single genre. For example, guitarists obsess over their guitar tone because they know just how much of an effect it's going to have on the listener. We would not have classic and psychedelic rock without those crazy effect pedals. Hip-hop producers obsess over the details in their drum sounds, and EDM producers obsess over the sound design of their synth sounds. Now that we have all this technology and nearly every sound at our fingertips, you got to really think about what mood you're trying to make the track have. There's almost no limitations on what you're trying to express. Every sound is carrying its own history, its own culture, and its own meaning. So if you can control the sounds, then you control the vibe. For example, listen to this. Now listen to this. I know, it's mad. It's the same song, but the sounds have changed the vibe completely. Reason number 4. Now this is a special one and probably my favorite. Choosing the right sounds makes your music easier to mix. Mixing used to be this mysterious concept that was so annoying to me. It's like this thing that you can't see and you can't touch. Also, when you learn about mixing, you learn that it's an art form in itself and that there's no one right mix. Learning about mixing and actually putting it into practice was so painful. So I said to myself, if we're going to do this, we need to make it way easier. From that point, I started being way more particular about the sounds I was choosing. And as a result, my tracks became cleaner and it was way easier to catch the vibe. Also, it became easier to hear which sounds were the right ones because I was thinking about the end of the song in mind. What's it going to be like when all these sounds are together and someone that has no idea about how music is made is listening to it? Is it going to be a pain in the ass to mix with a lot of fighting, or is it going to be natural and is it going to go with the flow? That's what I want you to think when you're choosing your sounds. Reason number 5 for why you need to start choosing better sounds is that it's the future. You have to embrace what modern technology has given us. The piano has had its time, the electric guitar has had its time. Now it's the time for every single sound that your brain can possibly think of. Just how wild and creative can you get with your choice of sounds? Whether that's synthetic, acoustic, metallic, cinematic, or retro. Never before in history have you had access to so many different sounds at your fingertips. And we're only just getting started. Ableton Live is only 21 years old, and plugins like Serum only 8 years old. Professionals are working every single day to design new software that's going to give you even more sounds. I don't know exactly what music is going to sound like in the future, but I know it's going to sound more wild and more creative than ever before. So now's the perfect time for you to start thinking, what sounds am I choosing and why? But wait! This video only solves half of that puzzle. Now that you know why sound choice is so important, watch this video here where I show you exactly how to choose the right sounds for your tracks every single time.